Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another great episode of Bahrain Now, your source of local initiatives, happenings, talents, and trends. I'm your host, Khalid Idris, here to walk you through our exciting lineup of segments and personalities from around Bahrain. So don't go away, we'll be right back. The Kingdom of Bahrain is committed to its ongoing efforts to implement more plans and programs which aim at preserving the ozone layer, which shields the Earth against ultraviolet radiation. And to speak more about that, we are pleased to be joined here at the studio by the Chief of Hazardous Chemicals Management Sectors and National Ozone Officer at the Supreme Council for Environment, Engineer Hasan Mubarak. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
So I'd like to start by asking you, what can you tell us about the ozone layer and its problem with depletion?
Let me first thank you for this opportunity. Actually, the ozone layer is a region of the high ozone concentration in the stratosphere between 15 to 35 kilometers above the Earth's surface. It's protect us from the UV radiation, ultraviolet radiation come from the sun. And it is actually one of the important layer that we need to be safe on the ground, on the earth itself. This layer, actually it is invisible shield, and in the mid of 70s, some scientists, they explore accumulation of gases, especially halogens like chlorine and bromine, affect the layer. And in the 1985 around, some scientists found or discover a big hole in that layer and thinning around the globe actually in that layer, which is allowed to access through it a lot of UV radiation coming to the earth, which of course will be harmful for the all people, plants, animals, even microbes, and will be big damage if not treated well within the decades. And this is what happened.
Very eloquently put. And how exactly does this depletion occur? Like, how do these chemicals actually cause a depletion in the atmosphere?
Let me first start talking about these chemicals themselves. Let me tell you, these very popular chemicals. They are in all our homes, schools, even our works. It's like common products like ACs, air conditioners, refrigerators, firefighting materials, even detergents at homes or solvents. Even inhalers actually for the some people they have asthma. These chemicals contain all of these products, so popular everywhere. Actually, they come in some groups, some famous group like CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, or hydrochlorofluorocarbon like HCFCs or halons. These chemicals actually, as I said, we use them in products. Right now, we call these products as necessary, like ACs. We cannot live without ACs, especially in high ambient countries like our countries here in Bahrain or in GCC. So this is for essential uses. But what happened is, we found these kind of chemicals contain, as I said in the beginning, chlorine and bromine. And this kind of chlorine has ability, when it's vented to the atmosphere, to destroy around 100,000 atoms of ozone, and also have ability to stay in the atmosphere between 70 to 100 years. So you can imagine the much of destruction on destroying that will do, I mean, in the layer. Because of that, the globe tried to do something to prevent venting these chemicals.
Wow, and I mean, definitely I can imagine that something like that can have a lot of far-reaching consequences. And on that note, I do want to ask you, what are the consequences that we can expect if this issue continues?
Actually, today we have a lot of studies. Let me just grab one of them to say that said, without trying to control the hole in the ozone layer and to treat the issues there, we expect 2 million of the skin cancer in a year. And till 2100, we expect around 434 million of skin cancers because of the UV came from the sun. Beside that, we talk about not less than 2.3 million deaths from the same reason. Also, it's affect the cataracts, so it's caused the blindness for the people. So also that study said within 2100, if it's not the ozone layer solved, this will affect to around 63 million of people to be blindness, or at least they have cataracts. So this is some of the consequences that we expect from leaving the ozone hole without any treaty.
So it really is a very
Serious.
crucial, yes, a serious and very global issue. But moving on to something maybe a little bit on the bright side, what has the Kingdom of Bahrain done so far in order to protect and preserve the ozone layer?
This is very important, actually. Let me tell you first, the globe, some countries in 1985 adopt a convention called Vienna Convention for Protection of Ozone Layer. And after 2 years of that, another protocol called Montreal Protocol, and actually in 1987, Montreal Protocol for the substances that deplete ozone layer as adopted also. Bahrain, one of the first country in the region that certified these both treaties in 1990. And with that, Bahrain enacts some regulations, national regulations, to save the ozone layer by preventing the equipments which contain CFCs, especially CFCs, because CFCs in that time was the most harmful for the ozone layer. So as I said in the beginning, we have them in many applications like ACs, refrigerator, firefighting. So we try in Bahrain to see where is the most uses and application for these chemicals, and try to put a schedule, gradual schedule to ban them and offer alternatives for that, like friendly, environment-friendly products actually. I can say we success to achieve 100% achievement in 2010 by announce that we don't have any more CFC in Bahrain in that time. So this was the first step. After that, the alternative also was HCFCs, which is still can deplete the ozone layer, of course with different of the level of CFC, but still it's depleting substances. So Bahrain put a strategic plan, will continue till 2030, started in 2013 actually, and it's continuous till 2030. That strategic, or that plan, will work to ban gradually all CFCs by product. And let me tell you one point here is very important. We don't want to feel the citizens or residents in Bahrain with this any change. I mean, when we are phasing down or phasing out this kind of chemicals. Why? Because in the protocol or Montreal Protocol itself, there's a fund try to help some countries. They try to save ozone layer by funding them to change to alternative, which is friendly, as I said, friendly products. And this is what we do in Bahrain. As an example, if we have a factory which is produce ACs or foams or any kind of products that contain depleting ODS, ozone depleting substances, we came to that factory and tell them, okay, we want you to change to alternative more environmentally friendly, and we will fund you on that 100%, which has come from that fund in the MLF, multilateral fund actually. And this is what happened. So if we change to alternative, the citizens or even the residents of Bahrain, they will fund in the market only the alternative products. And because of that, we say it phase down gradually. We don't do it as one shot or one time. And this is what's happening. So Bahrain take these policies, and actually it's very successful. I can say today in 2020, we announced 40% phasing out from SCFCs. Next year, or let us say 2025, the year after, we're going to announce 73.5 phasing out of SFCs, and the remaining will be only for some strategic projects, will remaining till 2030, which is around 2.5, or let us say 25% or less than that. So I think we are on track, and we are contributing with the world, all countries, to saving this layer.
Brilliantly said, and I mean, I'm really happy to see how much thought and how much planning has gone into this, because I mean, obviously it's something that's above us, protecting us from above, and it's always promising to see how the Kingdom of Bahrain is very proactive in taking steps to make sure that the country and even contribute on a global scale to protect the environment. Now, from 1990 until this day, surely the Kingdom of Bahrain has achieved so many projects to protect the ozone layer. So are there any highlights or anything that you think particularly stands out?
Yeah, actually, I'm so proud to say that we are, in Bahrain, has a lead in the region when we are talking about ozone layer. One of the important projects that we apply and launch it in 2018 is the first reclamation center, national reclamation center, to recover the refrigerant instead of venting them in the atmosphere, and reclaim them, like kind of recycling the refrigerant, so we can reuse them again. So this is a bigger project actually, and we success to achieve a lot of targets that we put for this project. This is one of the projects. Another project actually, we are with cooperation with Ministry of Education, also with some society like Bahrain Engineering Society. We work on an important project actually to train and license the technicians who work in rack sector. Rack mean refrigerator and AC sector. These people, to enhance their performance, to give them the best practices based on the something called F-gas regulation, which is international regulation, with best practices of using and handling and maintenance the ACs and these equipment which has contained refrigerants. The goal is to prevent or minimize the venting of the refrigerant from the compressor or from these products to atmosphere, which is harmful to the ozone and deplete the ozone layer. So they are recovering the refrigerant. We train them on that, to recover the refrigerant, put them in containers and send them to the National Reclaim Center to reclaim that refrigerant to be a virgin again and reuse it again instead of. So we have very economic profits from this side, because instead of we buying a new or virgin refrigerant, we have it now in hand. Beside that also we can save the environment, which is, this is the goal from the beginning. One of the projects also that we are proud to talk about is our cooperation with the customs, because customs, as we say, as you know, they are the first people in our ports. They receive the products. So we, since 15 years now or more, we train more than 1,000 officers from the custom officers to how to deal with these kind of products, how to know this is ozone depleting substances product or no, how to check them, how to deal with them. And this is very important to control this kind of importation and to save also the environment. We also have recently launching a portal called e-licensing system. Actually, I'm again proud to talk about this project. We launched it this year, January, and let me tell you, and this is the first time to tell that, next week on Sunday, we are launching the last phase of this project and include all importer or companies or established who work in chemicals and refrigerants in Bahrain to be included in this phase. Now we have 100% completion of this project. This e-licensing system will control and track all kind of refrigerant will be imported to Bahrain, and to check who's the user, how to store them, and to see if there is any venting or no, and calculated and reporting to the system. Everything is systematic will be right now. So actually a lot of a project that we implement and achieved.
Well, congratulations. I mean, there's a lot of innovation going on, and again, it's always really promising to see how much thought and how much strategy goes into solving an issue as large as this. And clearly, I think it's safe to say that we are on the right path.
Yeah.
And now to conclude, what future goals does the Kingdom of Bahrain seek to achieve to promote the use of alternative technologies and to provide sustainable alternatives and for the citizens and residents of Bahrain?
Thank you again very much for this question. Actually, let me tell you first, very important point. The last 40 or 50 years ago, technology in these last 50 years, especially in the rack sectors, especially in ACs, refrigerators, contain very safe refrigerant. It's harmful as environment for the ozone layer, but it's safe. Now, with the alternatives that we looking for future, actually we need to look more about the safety in these technologies. So what I want to say, we would like as Supreme Council for the Environment to build kind of a strengthened community, let us say, partnership. And this kind of partnership to be we have to raise the awareness, and this is what we do now. We are trying with cooperation with thanks from here to the General Directorate of Civil Defense in Bahrain, also Ministry of Industry and Commerce, what we work together to try to put new standards for this kind of a product, which will be more environmental friendly, but we need to take care more about the safety of these products. And from here, I would like to say to all people who live in Bahrain, citizens or residents, we need you to be more sure about the technician that will come to your home or to your office or to school, that he is permitted and licensed from the Supreme Council for the Environment, and he has a badge with his photo, with his CBR and everything. Why? Because only that licensed technician has the enhancement and the professionality to touch your AC in the future with the new technologies that will come to us. So this is what I want to declare from here. We are working very hard with all ministries and establishments to have this project, the technician training and licensing. This is for our benefits, for Bahrain benefits, and the people in Bahrain. And we know, and 100% sure, these people only they can handle well our equipments and to be in safe. Actually, here we are saving our ozone layer, we are saving the environment and our earth, and also we're saving our health and our homes.
Very brilliantly said. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for that.
Viewers, stay tuned. We'll be back with more right after this. An award-winning voluntary initiative, Saturday Biryani Party, is a community initiative to share fresh biryani meals with co-workers at their construction sites every week. We're joined by Mohammed Khan, the founder. Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure all the way. Thank you.
So I'd like to start by asking you, can you tell us a little bit more about this voluntary initiative?
Yeah, so basically we started in May 2015 with a very small group of friends to distribute biryani around my house. I live in SAR, so 2015 there was a lot of construction going on, and my wife and I, we started with 15 or 20 biryani meals. It was a Saturday family activity, so I would go around with my son and my daughter, and we just distribute biryani and some cold drinks, etc. Then friends joined and just kept on building. So we started with 15 to 20 biryanis, then we moved on from 300, 400 biryani every Saturday. We're doing it every week from 2015 until now, every week, alhamdulillah. And last week we completed 100,000 biryani milestone. So it's me and another friend actually who's basically helped me throughout managing this entire operations, I would say. Hasan, he's the key man. So we together, we are doing it for the last 8 years now.
So that sounds absolutely incredible, and you guys actually won the prestigious His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Ali Al Khalifa Award for the Best Bahraini Voluntary Project of 2018. How did that feel?
It was great actually. Actually, one of my friends a Bahraini friend, he told me about this initiative, about this award. To be very honest, I was not expecting anything because I said, okay, it's Bahraini. I will be the only guy, giving a presentation in English. He pushed me, Khalid his name, he pushed me, he got in touch with them, gave me the English version of the presentation. I made a presentation, and alhamdulillah, it was amazing. It was, I felt like, I was impressed by Bahrain. You just presented something, it was accepted, it was acknowledged. Not only the trophy, but then I realized that there's a funding coming with it. So alhamdulillah, it was, and that really helped us gain momentum. We then worked with more volunteers, more companies, distributing biryani more and more, basically. So that was alhamdulillah. I felt blessed. I felt blessed to be in Bahrain and be recognized.
I'm very happy to hear that. And how would you describe the main motivations behind this Biryani Saturday activity?
So, to be very honest, the main objective was to do some activity with my kids on Saturday, right? And my kids were born here, so they only know a very nice lifestyle, right? I wanted to tell them that there are people who are really, really in need, and we as Muslim, right? It is our responsibility to give back to the community where we're living in. So we started off, and I used to do a lot of photography, street photography. I have documented workers, their lives, and on social media. I used to share their stories with their pictures, etc. But I always felt that we're not doing enough, by just sharing their stories and getting some likes, etc. So we started with really, 15 or 20. My wife made some biryani, and we started giving them. And then more and more kids. So my idea was to involve kids and let them deliver the food with their hands and in a safe environment, and let's see the real life, the life on the ground. And that was the key motivation. Alhamdulillah, again, those kids that started at that time, 2015, they are either in universities now, in different parts of the world. My son and my daughter, my son is in university. My friend Hasan, his daughters are going for university, inshallah. So they were the small kids at that time, standing in the line and giving food, saying Assalamu alaikum to these workers. We did almost in every part of Bahrain, on the Labor Day, because every Saturday we were doing it. So across Bahrain, across different communities, across different religion, community really helped us. Bahraini friends, expats, we collaborated with some companies as well. So the main motive was to basically bring to life the people around us who are working. We don't normally see them, we just pass through them. And I just wanted to bring awareness in the community that these people exist and we need to support them. And I found biryani is a common food across everybody. Everyone loves biryani.
Agreed. Everybody does love biryani. And actually, speaking of biryani, I would like to ask you, how much do you share on average with workers every Saturday?
So now these days we are doing 300 meals on an average, 300 to 400 meals every Saturday, with fruit and a cold drink, either water. I generally prefer not to have carbonated drinks, but normally juice and a water bottle. And it's not 100% from us. Like we would bring in biryani, right? But then volunteers, they want to bring in dates. One of our volunteers used to come from Saudi who would bring dates every week. People bring juices, people bring homemade sandwiches. So the idea was bring everything and share with your own hands. Give some time, to this community work. That's the whole idea behind it.
Brilliant. And where do you guys actually meet every Saturday?
So different places. So the idea is we go and deliver the biryani at the construction sites. So there are construction sites happening in Jufair, in Hamala. Last week, this Saturday was actually in District 1. There's a construction going on. So we coordinate with the site first, because normally you don't want to disrupt the operations. So you go during the break time, you park your cars, and then you see workers coming down. And so it's different sites every week. But the idea is to go to a specific site. We coordinate. My friend, again, Hasan, he coordinates with them. He knows exactly how many people are there. So 300 if there, so we normally go with 320, 350. And we communicate to our volunteers. There's a WhatsApp group. We communicate through our social media channels, and then people just show up. It's an open for all event.
Brilliant. And you mentioned you have volunteers and a team. Could you tell us a little bit about how big your team is?
Yeah. So primarily there's I started it, but the guy who runs it now for the past, let's say, 4 or 5 years is Hasan. He was supposed to be here. He couldn't join. So Hasan is the main guy, and me. So I'm managing the social media. Hasan coordinates with the WhatsApp group, on the WhatsApp group through the team. We have around 8 or 9 people who have been with us for long. Okay, and then there are times who people who moved to Bahrain, volunteered with us for a couple of years, then they moved out. So overall, a team of 8 to 10 people. They keep on rotating. So every week there's a few who shows up, a few who don't, and then we have kids now. What we also do is that for university-going students, they need to showcase to the universities that they have involved in some community work. So there are a lot of students who come and work with us for a couple of weeks, just feel the heat and deliver the biryani in this heat. So small group, but again, it's open for all. So people just show up at times who you don't know even, who heard about us, who read about us, and they want to share biryani with us. That's all.
Brilliant. And how do you usually raise enough of your funds to continue the operations?
So initially, it was personal, friends and family. So okay. Then after we got this award, Coca-Cola, they contacted us. They wanted to fund the biryani meals. We worked with them for some time. Then Bahrain Financing Company actually worked with us for almost 2 years. So every meal was funded by them. I knew the CEO at that time. He was kind enough to support this initiative. I also do some painting, which I sell to raise funds. My friend Hasan is an investment banker. He has connections, so he has raised funds. And then we really, over the years, we really got some good deals. So we started with, let's say, 1.5 dinar biryani, 1 packet or 2 dinar per packet. And we've got down to really 500 fills to 600 fills. So primarily friends and families, and then some corporate, let's say, collaborations that helped us going all these years. And we manage the meals accordingly. So we know how much fund we have, how many meals we need to do. I'm an accountant by qualification. Hasan is an MBA, so we know how to manage the fund according to the biryani requirements, etc.
And how many meals are you aiming at?
So when we started, I never thought we will reach 100,000. This was never the objective. I want to continue. Even if I have to do 1 biryani and I don't have the funds, I can do 1 meal, I'll do that. I really don't have any target, to be very honest. I just want to continue sharing meals. And so is, again, I keep on referring to Hasan because I really miss him now when I'm sitting here. And that's what Hasan also believes, that we want to keep on doing it as long as we can.
Inshallah. And lastly, to conclude, what keeps you going? Like, what's the message that you want to share with our viewers?
I think what I've learned over these years is that, first of all, we must do something to give back to the community. You have to do it. There is no way that you cannot give back to the community, number one. Number two, if you are a professional, you have some skills, you have some connections, you know project management, whatever you know, you have to utilize those skills and make sure that you are continuously doing it. Doing something consistently is the key. Professional life, voluntary projects, etc. So that's my, I think that's the key message. Whatever you want to do it consistently. That's what I've learned. And then, results come out from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Brilliantly said. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing what you guys are going to do next in the future.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, no good deed ever goes wasted. Stay tuned, and we'll be back for more. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the finish line. A huge thank you to all of our guests for joining us tonight. And another huge thank you to all of you watching us at home. As always, be sure to reach out to us on our social media accounts shown below. We love to hear from you. This was Khalid Hidris, and until next time, good night and God bless.